So that's the infamous rant by Denny Green. If you want to crown their asses, crown their asses. We know who the Bears are, and we let them off the hook. And the Giants let the Bears off the hook. We knew who they are, and as a result, Daboll got the hook. So not only did we let the Bears off the hook, it's a new era of Giant football. Daboll's gone. As far as I'm concerned, Bowen, Gillen, Russ, they could all see themselves out the door too. But we'll get into all that. We are the Three Angry Giant Fans and the Jet Fan podcast. This is your host Scott, Giant Mike, Cardone, and Angry Jets fan Novak. And guys, I mean, another blown another blown loss, really. I mean, we had the victory in hand, and we just blew it. And I think there had to be a change. I was hoping to see a little bit more, but this is a good start. Daboll's gone.
Yeah, I just want to get this out there because I know we're probably not going to talk too much about this game. So I wanted to make sure I got this out there early and just let everyone know the Bears suck. The Bears are terrible.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams stinks. Okay,
Yep.
we'll put that out there first. Now we can talk about Daboll, I guess.
Well, if you want to put that out there, I need to talk to you because I just was telling the guys. So I was listening to the Bears radio broadcast during this game. And when Caleb Williams ran the go-ahead touchdown in, they said, Jackson Dart, whatever you could do, Caleb could do better.
Yeah,
and then they started talking about MVP talk. And I thought to myself, are you crazy? And they once again, now it's a Bears radio broadcast, but they said, can you believe this team under Ben Johnson? There's such resiliency. He's not going to let this team quit.
Quit? I mean, this is what the New York Giants do. This is more about the Giants than the Bears.
100%.
That fourth quarter. I don't know when you guys thought knew the game was over. I knew the game was over when we decided to kick a field goal. The one time I wanted them to go for it. But even then, all right, 2010, they're up by 10. You should be able to hold on to that lead. Not us. We know that we're not going to be able to do that. It's incredible. That all happened because of what happened in Denver. That decision there to kick is – and why aren't we running – I'm just going to stick on that particular series right there. If you remember on first down, we ran the ball to the left side behind Thomas on the left side of the line. We were pushing people off the line, and then we don't go that direction anymore on the rest of that series there at goal to go. So just classic collapse. Thank God we didn't wait to fire somebody. It had to be Daboll. The head coach has to get the axe. I want Bowen next, so let's get into it.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about it later. I don't think that kicking the field goal was the wrong call there. Thought it was the right call, knowing who we are. But, I mean, that's all debatable. I mean, Cardone, do you really think we don't give up a 99-yard drive to the Bears? Do you not think we don't make that and give up a 99-yard drive to the Bears and lose the game? I do. I thought Daboll did the only thing that could possibly give us a chance. Ask your defense in 5 minutes to not give up 2 scores. That's it.
And you're treading to my pet peeve, but I will say this. The Giants lost this game the second Jackson Dart left the field.
Yeah,
they did. They did. And, now that I watch the Giants as closely as I do, when the Bears had the ball at the end there and they could have gotten a field goal to tie, I didn't think for a second they were getting a field goal.
No.
I knew for certain they were getting a touchdown. And it wasn't even a question. I was like, they're getting a touchdown here. My only thought was, hopefully they'll get it soon enough so the Giants have time to come the other direction. But then I had forgotten that
Russ Wilson was there.
Well, Novak, that's how pathetic we are, because I was thinking the same thing before Chicago even scored, and I knew the same thing. I'm like, it's not even a game-tying field goal didn't even cross my mind. I knew we're falling behind 24-20. I'm already looking at the clock to think about how much time we're going to have on the way back.
Yeah.
While Chicago's still on the fucking 30 or the 40, wherever they were. That's how pathetic it is. I was already thinking about how much time are we going to have to come back the other way.
I thought there was a much higher chance of a Bears fumble or interception than them kicking a field goal to tie.
Yeah, that's all
I really did.
You had to know that was our only hope. It really was.
So before we get into everything, because there's a lot to discuss today, Daboll was just fired today. We are coming to the air on a Monday, but let me give a shout out. So this one's the Midwest. Hello, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Population 413,000. It was settled in 1828 by the Locapoca Band of the Creek Indians. It's the home of Tulsa University as well as Oral Roberts. And it's been associated with a high levels of gang activity since 1980 when two brothers from Compton moved to Tulsa. It's also the scene of Tulsa King, which stars Sylvester Stallone, and it's the home of Gary Busey, Josh Jacobs, John Starks, and the man with the worst haircut ever, Nolan Richardson.
Tulsa.
Tulsa's like the ultimate stepping stone football program. I feel
absolutely.
Right?
They play on a Wednesday night every week. It seems like.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure you guys know the mascot for Tulsa.
Is it a rocket or something? I don't remember.
Cyclones or something,
is
or
it the Golden Eagles or something? Or am I wrong?
Golden Hurricanes, maybe.
Golden Hurricanes. I think it's the Golden Hurricanes.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
No idea.
So anyway, Daboll's been fired. Like Mike said, I don't know how much we're going to talk, or Chris said how much we're going to talk about this game, but after that, it was the fourth blown lead of 10 points or more in the fourth quarter this year, and that goes directly to coaching. I think we've all seen Daboll lose this team. We're all mad at Bowen as well. So for those that don't know the process, Daboll's fired and Kafka is the interim coach. As of now, Bowen is still in the house. But again, in this game, more three-man rushes from Bowen on 3rd and long. So, what did Chicago do when they had us pinned back? 7 and 8-man fronts. Forced the decrepit Russell Wilson get the ball out quickly or sack him. And Russ, honestly, Russ looked as bad as a rookie quarterback back there who had never seen game action.
Worse.
At this point, you made the coaching change. Why not just cut Russell Wilson and have Jameis as your backup? It can't be worse. Well, have Jameis as your starter because Dart out with a concussion. He's probably going to miss a week.
I was just going to ask, has that been announced yet? Is Dart already out next week?
Well, Dart is officially in the concussion protocol, which is very difficult to clear in a week if you're not a named quarterback.
Okay. By the way,
find out if he is or not.
I don't have I mean, usually I have like some key plays I want to talk about. I really only want to talk about the one play with Dart. Why was he not ruled down on that fumble? Like,
I thought his knee was down. I really did, guys.
So I saw it again today, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? His knee, like he was down, and his knee hits the ground, and as he's falling, he's getting hit from all different angles, and like he still has the ball. So like, why was that? Did we have a challenge? I don't remember. Like no, that. It was like the whole play was like a blur to me. Like, what happened?
Well, it's a turnover, so it's supposed to be automatically reviewed, but at least on the radio broadcast, I never heard them say they reviewed it. And then when I went back and watched it on TV, I saw the knee being down. They made a brief mention of maybe his knee's down, but I don't remember them saying, "Oh, they've reviewed it and it's upheld" or anything like that.
The whole thing was like in slow motion. It seemed like, because even if you remember, the Bears, like it was like sort of an afterthought. One of the guy picks up the ball as Dart is like already concussed and laying on his side there. But I was already as I'm watching it live, I'm like, wait a minute, like he's got to be down by contact or something. This isn't gonna stand, right? It's unbelievable, man. I don't seem to know. I'm trying to think of other plays around the league where that is not reviewed or overturned or something. I don't know, man. Like you said, Scott, it's a turnover, so they automatically review that officially. I don't know, man. I think it was amazing. At that point, Giants are up 17-7, right? I think it was 17-7.
Yeah, they're going
in.
The
ball first and 10. They're going in there, I think. I mean, Dart, at that point,
he was on fire right there.
They have complete control of the game. Yep. They were on the 17-yard line, first and 10 from the 17, up by 10. I think they're going in there. Again, who knows if the Giants? I say, the game would have been over. We don't know because of the Denver game. We're capable of blowing 25-point leads. So I don't know, but I think we certainly would be in a lot better shape if Dart, if that's not a fumble. But Dart has to go out with a concussion. It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, I mean, and at these moments, we get these injuries at these moments, right? So,
Yep.
like you mentioned, Cardone, like the whole world is going nuts on that drive. Dart is throwing dimes to Theo, on the seam, on the sideline. He's scrambling a little bit. The play before he got hurt, I think he slid. It's like complete control of this offense. And the Giants are about to go in and stick the dagger in. And like you said, it's the Giants. Who knows if that's the dagger or not? Probably not.
Right.
But I really don't even think, like, just say Dart, because he came back for a couple plays and before he got out. I don't think the Giants lose that game if Dart is not concussed on that play.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, I don't know.
Think about a time. Flip the whole thing, right? We love doing the whole flip scenario. Think of another game where the Giants are like, we're up against the ropes. Our offense is pounding the ball down our throat. We're down by 10. And all of a sudden, their starting quarterback just leaves the game, and we're just now stuck. When does that ever happen to us? Against us rather. We're like all of a sudden a guy. Never.
No.
Like you said, we're just Jackson Dart is taking absolute control of that game, and next thing, and now he's just gone from the game.
Just gone.
It's incredible.
And by the way, again, one of Novak's big pet peeves, sideline reporting, just awesome on that.
Yeah.
Right? They come back from commercial, fucking Russell Wilson's under center, and nothing. Nobody says anything about why.
It was funny because I was watching the 4-screen game. Right? I had the Jets on the top right, and all of a sudden I look up and Wilson's in there. I text you guys like, "Why is Wilson in the game?" You didn't even know.
No,
like,
we didn't know.
We didn't.
Because I wasn't listening, but I was watching. I mean, unbelievable that he goes out. I would be a little concerned about Dart and those concussions, though.
Yeah.
Because he hit his head. It wasn't like it was a hard hit. He hit the ground and all that. It wasn't that hard. And look, my biggest favorite player of all time is Wayne Corbett. And he started to get to a point where he would hit his head a little bit and he would get concussed. Yeah. And I'm not saying that's going to happen to Dart, but it would be a concern of mine. Kind of like Tua, right? I mean, Tua starts to get him all the time. You just got to play differently, and he's going to have to learn.
Am I wrong in thinking this, or did Dart not come back in for a series before?
He came in for 2 plays.
Two plays.
And then, Daboll, to his credit, said, apparently this is the story, he said something's not right with him. Get him out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was 2 plays. I think it was an incomplete pass to Wandale, and then we ran it up the middle, of course, on 2nd and 10 because it's what we do, and then that ended the 3rd quarter, and then when they came back to start the 4th quarter, Russell Wilson was in the game.
Right. Yeah. Right.
With no explanation.
You got to play Winston this week. I mean, come on. First of all, at Met Death is going to be 80% Packer fans because they travel really well. No one gives a crap if Dart doesn't play. Who is going to that game as a Giant fan?
Nobody.
Nobody.
I mean, Cardone, your brother's not even going to that game.
Oh man, no, he of course not. He's no.
What other team in the beginning of November is playing games without their starting quarterback, number 1 wide receiver, number 1 running back? What other team is doing that?
I mean, I can't think of one. That's funny you say that. I can't think of one right now. It doesn't happen.
Come on.
It just doesn't happen.
It really doesn't.
You're making a case of why Daboll shouldn't be fired.
Well,
yeah, well, no, he's had enough excuses. Daboll's had enough excuses. I got a lot to say about Daboll tonight and a lot of different things, and some of it's my pet peeve, so I'll try not to cross it. But, we talked a couple weeks ago about, Shane Bowen might have a style, but it's Daboll's job to go to him and say, cut the shit. If I see another 3-man rush, right, I'm going to strangle you out. That is not happening. So you have to know that Daboll's in favor of it. He's the head coach of the team. If he wanted it to stop, it would stop. So to me, that's an indictment. There's just so many things. There's so many little things. And I don't know if you guys heard much from Tiki Barber today, but Tiki Barber pretty much stole my script for tonight. I mean, I heard a couple of clips from him, and everything that he was saying is like, I'm going there. That's the same place I'm going. There's, nobody hates Daboll. The feeling, Tiki said it very well, I think, is I think Daboll's a really good coach, just maybe not a head coach. I don't know. He had to go. I'm sad that he's gone. I really thought we had one when we got him.
Here's my quick take on that, Mike. Same thing. Like, look at the last number of head coaches, right? Like starting with like McAdoosh, right? When he took over after Coughlin, like guys like him, Pat Shermer, Joe Judge, like those guys were just lost. Those were guys that just didn't have anything going in their favor as a head coach for the New York Giants. Like Daboll did. So like today's one of those days where we do have to grieve a little bit. You know what I mean? Like we have to now grieve Brian Daboll as our head coach, because with the guy, when he came in 2022, for one season, we had hope and we had, a playoff win and all those things, and so I was asked by a couple times today, like, Cardone, how you feeling, about, are you happy? And I'm like, no, that's not even close to how I feel. Like, I'm still miserable. And the reason why I'm miserable, because I'm still fucking 2-8. I have a quarterback who's concussed. I now don't have a head coach. I still have Shane Bowen. I still have shitty players on this roster. I won't be unmiserable until this team. I don't care if we pick first in the draft. That's not going to make me happy. What now is going to make me happy is nothing except being even one game over 500 at some point in the season the rest of my life. That's where I'm at.
Here's
Give me 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. Sorry, Scott. That's my answer.
All of it.
Are you happy, Carter? No, I'm not. What makes me happy today? I'm 2-8. No, I'm not happy. And I blew another 10-point lead yesterday. Not happy.
I'm not happy, but what I liked about that game is that game spurred change, and the change had to happen, and I'm glad it happened. I'm not that upset about the loss because of what happened to Daboll getting fired. It had to happen, and I was afraid we'd just string him along. Let's say Dart, because Dart was on his way to winning that game. If we win that game, they're keeping Daboll, they're keeping everything going on. Maybe we get blown out by the Packers next week. Maybe we don't. Maybe Dart gets injured next week or whatever. The style that he plays and the style Daboll lets him play was part of the problem, I heard, on why he got fired. And here's the thing. I never thought the Giants would actually do this because they don't make a lot of in-season changes. But I saw something last night. I saw Twitter, and some former players, Lawrence Tynes was coming out saying, you got to let Daboll go. Carl Banks made a couple comments. I didn't hear what Tiki had said, but there were a couple other, like, fringe Giants even. And Brandon Jacobs said, guys, I don't know what the answers are, but the team has to do something to get better. And I'm not the guy to tell you what the answer is, because I don't know the answers, or else I'd be the guy, he said, basically. But they have to do something. And once I saw that on Twitter, I said that I think they're going to make a change. And I was as shocked as anyone else when I heard the news, because it didn't come on until about 11 o'clock this morning, 12 almost noon. But now that it's happened, we've all saw the writing on the wall.
For me, when I don't think it was the Bronco game. I don't think it was the Bear game. I don't think it was the Eagle game. The second that he pulled up that little blue tarp to check on Dart, I was like, this guy's done. This guy's over. This is it. He looked like a desperate child. Bad. And I think that was the moment where I was like, this guy his time is done here, because what other coach does that? You stand in the front of your team and you coach the fucking game instead of running back to find your little pet boy. What's going on with him? And the second he did that, it's over. Game over. Daboll's done.
We're up by 10 on the Eagles in the fourth quarter, and he's chasing his quarterback into the tent.
Yeah.
With the offense on the field. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Well, we know why he was doing that now, because Russell Wilson was on the field.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then it's your decision to put in Winston at least at that point, right? If you're that, so he just lost everyone's respect, I think, as a head coach there.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, Novak, you're going to like this. What I heard today is that Shane will be the guy involved in the next coaching search. So that means he's staying around.
I have not been on Daboll as much as I have Shane. What a disaster that you don't let Shane go, or he's going to be in charge of hiring the next coach. Come on. What coach in their right mind, unless it's a young guy who wants his first job, is going to go work for Joe Shane? What has he done? He can't pick a punter, a kicker, a defense, an offense, an offensive line. His choice of the starting quarterback this year was Russell Wilson, who was completely cooked. Come on. What is? How is this guy? Who is he drafted? And Abdul Carter. Do you still think you should get number 56? I mean, come on. This guy. Sorry. It's just Shane sucks.
I don't want to derail the conversation because it's a good one. We aren't able to watch the Monday night game. At least I'm not because I don't have YouTube TV. But here's the note on Yahoo as I'm following it on the Gamecast. News: Eagles get away with egregious false starts on tush push versus Packers.
I can't
already.
That's what the news says.
The first half.
That's the headline. It's 0-0 right now in the second quarter with 2:58 left.
Why even watch it? It's the same thing. I mean,
yeah.
Thank you, YouTube TV, for taking that game off my TV. I don't have to watch it.
So I don't know. No, I Novak's points are great. I mean, I don't know what Shane is doing, still being in the building and being able to run the search. I'll ask you guys this though: who do you think, or who do you want? Well, who do you want first, and then who do you think will be the Giants' next head coach?
I couldn't wait to get your take on this, all of you.
Well, I tell you, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you take it, Cardone.
I think Novak. I think it might have been. I think it was you on our thread. Mike Tomlin's name gets thrown around, and if Pittsburgh fans, because all of a sudden you're starting to see Pittsburgh struggle a little bit, right? So they're now they're still 5-4, so the guy's still above 500. But if they want to gladly run him out of town, I will take Mike Tomlin. I will take Mike Tomlin. I would. So I got my eye on him. If the Steelers somehow, and it may only take for them to go 500, miss the playoffs, or get in the playoffs and not win a playoff game, whatever it is for that, I got my eye on Tomlin. Would he come to New York? I don't know.
Not with Shane.
Not with Shane. That's the problem. So, I be honest, guys, I really haven't been able to think that long and hard about really who I want at this point. Give me another couple days, or by next week, maybe my answer will change. But, if you ask me right now, there's some grumbling and stuff with Pittsburgh, of course. So if Tomlin were available, I would certainly and gladly take a Mike Tomlin on this team.
Absolutely, no doubt. If that guy's available, that's who I want. There's other guys who like, I've heard the Bears are giving up on Stefanski. Like, give me Stefanski. I'll take that guy.
The Browns.
Browns. I say Bears. Yeah. No, Stefanski. Yeah. Hell yeah. I love Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator for the Seahawks. I always have. He brought a national championship to Michigan, and he's been under John Harbaugh. That's good enough for me. There's even some rumblings that John Harbaugh himself might be available after this year. Like, who knows? You know what? I don't know who I have no idea who I think it will be. But I would take any of those guys. I lean toward a defensive guy because I think if we just get a couple of offensive linemen in there, how much coaching does this offense need? We've got a quarterback who just specializes in improvising. We got Malik Neighbors running around out there and Cam Scatterbo bowling people over. Like, how do we really need an offensive guru at this point? We already proved, Daboll left Josh Allen and Josh Allen fell apart so hard he became the MVP of the league. So, I don't really. I'll talk about the development of Jackson Dart at my pet peeve, but anyway, that's any of those guys sound good to me. Tomlin, Stefanski, Minter. I've not really heard any names bannered about.
I've heard a few that I didn't like. When I look back at the situation, and I think we made an error in retaining Daboll last year because we could have had a shot at Vrabel. I don't know how realistic that shot is because he went to the Patriots, but I wanted Vrabel while he was available, and we didn't get him. And I don't know of which guys are available that we could get. I love the Tomlin idea. Some of the names I've heard today are Mike McCarthy, who I want no business of. Robert Saleh, who I don't think that's a possibility. They were talking about Cliff Kingsbury. I don't want Cliff Kingsbury. No, they like him. They like him because of his offensive mind.
He's not a New York guy. There's no.
I
don't know.
Now the other guy that keeps getting his name bandied about is Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin has worked with Dart, so I can see something there. But I almost want, and I know you can't foresee who's going to be a good coach.
Yeah.
Coughlin was a retread, so you bring some other retreads and you never know who you're going to hit on. But if you do a retread, the one guy I'm interested in, but he's got baggage, is Gruden.
Yeah, I think the Giants need a proven guy, and you're not going to get him if Shane is the GM. Sorry, you're not. But there's one scenario that I actually do really like for the Giants, and think about this. Okay, fine. Let's say Minter, just for shits and giggles. It's Minter's the guy. You got to go then get an offensive coordinator who can take on Dart. I have the perfect guy for that. Zach Taylor. Because he's going to get let go from the Bengals. He's worked with Burrow and Chase. I liken that to Dart and Neighbors. I like what he's done with that offense. It's always been very good. And that would be the job that he would jump to, because he knows I can go make Dart something. I'll get my next head coaching job when I've turned the Giants around as an offensive
You think he'll
coordinator.
be let go, though?
I do. That's my opinion. Now, I could be completely wrong, but I could see them losing the next 6-7 games, because that defense is so bad. And I think if I were Zach Taylor, this is the job I would run to this job if I were him.
Yeah. And I think despite Shane, I think of the jobs that we know the Giants jobs available, but of the other jobs that are potentially coming available, I think the Giants is the premier job in this cycle. I mean, you've got Jackson Dart, this is all despite Shane, of course. You've got Dart, you've got guys like Carter and Thibodeau and Burns, and you've on defense, and clearly clearly Scatterbo. You need you need the defensive back end help. Clearly, you need some offensive line help. But as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, I mean, those are two areas of a team that are pretty easily serviced in free agency or the draft. It's not, I mean, you wouldn't think it from the Giants, since we've had the same fucking problems for the last 15 years. But, if I'm a head coach and I think I'm about to get fired, I got one eye on Met Death.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So while the Giants were losing, the Jets pulled out a improbable win. Guys, Dylan Gabriel might have played as poorly as Justin Fields, who was 6 of 11 for 54 yards, right, Novak?
No, he was 5 of 10 for 12. And if you take his negative sacks for 12 yards, he was 5 of 10 for 0 yards. So he was so bad. I mean, and the only reason they won is because the Browns are so. How did the Browns win 2 games? That's what I want to know. Because
two special teams TDs by the Jets. So
yeah, I know, but the Browns are. Did you see the last play of the game?
I did not.
The Browns have 4th and 4 on the 50, or the Jets do. 4th and 4 on the 50. Everyone in the world knows they're trying to draw them off sides, and the Browns jump, and the game's over. They are the worst coached. I mean, I like Stefanski. That poor guy just has an awful. Dylan Gabriel might be worse than Justin Fields. He throws a ball like a balloon. He makes Chad Pennington look like he had a rifle arm. It's so bad. He's terrible. But look, they found a way to win. And, I am looking at the Giants as the reason why I don't want to tank, because Mike said it right 2 weeks ago. He was like, if we had tanked, we would have had Cam Ward. You don't know who's going to be this year, who's going to be the number one guy. I want to win. I like winning. when it was Trevor Lawrence that was coming out, yes, I wanted to lose because there was a known number one guy I wanted. I don't want to lose now. I want to win. A win's a win. Justin Fields sucks, but at least we're building something. Maybe I'm starting to turn a little bit. I still don't think Glenn's the right guy. But what's more important to me than the win was what they did in the trade last week.
Yeah,
he came on the air before those trades, and the trades were massive for the Jets. And I heard some pundits say that the Jets got fleeced. Guys,
get the hell out of here! They got fleeced.
I don't think they got fleeced because if you see what happened with Sauce this week, he was no great shakes. I mean, you unloaded 2 guys, but you've gotten 4 premium picks now.
What that is, Scott, in my opinion, that's just an old same old Jet narrative. They fucked up. They made a mistake. No, without really analyzing what they did. No, the Jets got that's just that ignorant narrative that you really don't realize what they just did. And no, they just improved their prospects for the next 2 years, really, right?
100%. And on top of it, no one talks about this, and we touched on it last week, the salary cap. There are $209 million under the cap in 07 for 27.
Yeah.
Like $209 million. Do you know what you can do with those dollars over the next year, year and a half? And you've got 5 picks now. And next year, 4 of the first 40 players will be Jets.
Yeah.
In the draft.
That's amazing. And that's really is amazing.
And that's how you turn it around. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
You know how you know there's bias here. The media and a lot of fans too, they love nothing more than first round draft picks. I mean, when the media hears about someone getting a first round draft pick, I mean, they can't get excited enough. But when the Jets do it masterfully, by the way, it's same old Jets.
Yep.
You know what I
giving
heard?
up the only 2 players who can play. And Novak's like, he's been saying it for 2 years. Sauce Gardner ain't that good, guys. He had 2 first-round picks for him. What the hell?
And a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Don't
everything's
forget about
media
the wide
driven.
Receiver they got too. You're right, Cardone. Everything
is
media driven.
Think about
it.
Everything's
shit all over the Jets.
Sauce Gardner. What makes him so great? What?
I'll tell you what. Because his name is Sauce.
Yeah.
If his name was Bill,
right.
it wouldn't have 2 first round
Bob
picks.
Gardner.
Well, it's
Bob Gardner. He get a second round and a 4th round and a bag of balls.
Ooh, Sauce.
In a perfect world, Sauce Gardner will turn the Colts or will help the Colts go far into the playoffs, and the Jets will get the two first rounders. Quinnen Williams hopefully doesn't do a whole lot with Dallas, but you never know what's going to happen there. But the thing is, Sauce Gardner's getting up there in age. And when he's getting up there in age, I mean, how long you can keep on to him, and you get two first rounders in return. And Quinnen Williams is a defensive lineman who we know you guys can replace because the Giants have done that. They did it with Leonard Williams. They immediately got Dexter Lawrence after that. You can restock the defensive line pretty quickly. The narrative that I hated in this whole thing was, the Jets, they have to replace Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams with first rounders. That's not going to happen. It's like, well, you got 4 picks.
Out of here.
Yeah,
why? You got 4 picks and we got $80 million.
Where do you think they came from?
Sauce Gardner has 1 interception in his career, I think, maybe 2. He is so overrated. He's the most overrated player in the league. I've been saying it for years.
Yeah.
And finally, he's gone. Get out. Goodbye. Go have fun in Indianapolis, where you're not going to make shit in endorsements.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like if someone offered us 2 first rounders for Cordell Flott right now.
Flott.
Flott's playing better than Sauce. Sauce Gardner got undressed on Sunday morning.
Awful.
Can I get an agreement between ESPN, ABC, and Disney with DirecTV or YouTube TV for Deontay Banks?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, Banks! What the hell with that guy?
I just got to roll back one thing for Cardone. Can you imagine the Giants winning a game because the other team jumped off sides? Like, can you even imagine that ending a Giants game?
No.
Well, of course they
absolutely.
It doesn't. Never.
It's like, again, it's our tight end tiptoeing in backwards. Doesn't happen.
We're not winning a game because the other team jumps off sides. We're not doing that.
And let me just say one more thing about the Jet game that I wanted to put out there. For anyone, I have changed my tune now too. For anyone to say that the running back you can just rip and replace and put another running back in, not true. Breece Hall is the best player on that team, and I think he needs to get paid. Because at some point you got to have some offensive weapons. The guy is just a baller. He goes out there every week. He gives everything. You give him the ball, and he makes positive yardage every time.
Yep.
I am so glad they didn't trade him for a 4th round pick to Kansas City, which was what was on the table. What's a 4th round pick? A special teamer? A nickel back? I mean, no. Smart that they held on to him.
He's like the only reason to watch the Jets, Novak, is watching him run. I know. Yeah.
Because Garrett Wilson can't get the ball because he's known to throw it to him.
It's so Novak, true. You'll love this too. That was part of the criticism I heard of the Jets too. So at the same time that they're criticizing them for giving up their 2 best players for all these draft picks, the other criticism was, well, why didn't they trade Breece Hall?
They had a 4th round pick from the Chiefs, which is essentially a 5th round pick.
Yeah, right.
I mean, why would you do that? Would you get a punter? Like, stop it. The guy he was their only offensive player. Like, why would you?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with him in the offseason.
So if it wasn't, can you imagine Fields' numbers if it wasn't for Breece Hall last week?
He would have 12 yards passing. 12.
And in a win.
In a win.
Yeah, jeez.
So as we go to around the league, I just want to give an update because I thought this was interesting. With 23 seconds left in the first half, the Packers were in field goal range. They were sacked. Jordan Love was sacked. He fumbled, and guess who recovered the fumble?
The newest Eagle.
Jalen Phillips.
Yeah.
There you go.
The newest Eagle. Yeah.
I would
immediately making an impact.
Can the Eagles take our 5 first-round draft choices for Howie Roseman? Because I would do it in a heartbeat. That guy just doesn't miss ever.
Once Fields proves he doesn't belong in the NFL anymore, my next target is going to be this Jordan Love cat. I gotta go there. This guy getting a lot of, no pun intended, love. He ain't done much in this league. He ain't done much.
You're right.
I'm waiting for I'm waiting for the national media to finally start to bury this guy. Be like, wait a minute, this guy might suck. I'm waiting for it. Yeah.
Hang in there. This guy might suck.
You know why they won't? Because they love the narrative of Favre to Rodgers to Love. They love that story.
Oh,
can't bring it up enough.
Guys, you know what's being buried more than anything else? Jacoby Brissett is the starter in Arizona, and Murray went on IR.
Yeah.
Although they thought he was going to come back last week, you know?
That's what a couple good games will do for you. Gets the starter on IR. Air quotes IR, which I love.
So, we'll look around the league. The Colts are still rolling. Daniel Jones, bloodied lip, but Jonathan Taylor has just been a monster. I mean, he is doing basically what Barkley did last year.
Last year.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
Shows you what an offensive line does, doesn't it?
Yeah. It really is what an offensive line does for you. You can see it helps both Jones and Taylor.
Yeah, exactly.
They're exciting to watch, man. Indianapolis is exciting.
They
are.
They throw the ball downfield. They're fun to watch.
Yeah, the ball just moves, man. That offense just moves up and down the field. It's incredible.
Yep. You guys ever notice, like, when a quarterback gets hit and they get the bloody lip, how cool that looks? You're like, oh, why does Daniel Jones not look cool with a bloody lip? Did you see it? Looked like he had lips. Looked like he was wearing lipstick.
That's hilarious, Mike. I thought the same thing. I'm like,
is this the only guy who doesn't look cool with a bloody lip?
Why?
He didn't look like he'd been in a street fight. He looked like he was in his sister's makeup box.
One of the most infamous photographs in NFL history is Y.A. Tittle when his helmet got shattered. It looked like he got shot in the head. You know what I mean? Like blood coming down, like his bald skull, black and white photo. He's on his knees. You know what I mean? Looked like he was in Vietnam. You know what I mean? Like, like World War II. And like Daniel Jones looks like he's on the cover of fucking Glamour magazine.
So I got to give Novak credit for this in the preseason. He said the Patriots were going to make the playoffs, and look at what's going on with the Bills now. And this is the schizophrenia with this league. So last week the Bills beat the Chiefs, and everyone's talking about the Bills being back. The Bills lose to the Dolphins, and they're now a game and a half behind the Patriots basically, and the Patriots beat them so far.
Yeah.
Dancing on my pet peeve on the Bills, but
all right.
How do they lose that game? I mean, that is a dead team that just lost their best player, and they just destroyed them. The game wasn't even close.
Nope.
It's something we say all the time, though.
Yeah,
the Dolphins rise up. Why can't the Giants? The Giants did rise up against the Bears, only to crumble. The Giants rose up against the Broncos, only to crumble.
That's one of the fun things about this league. When your team's been out of it and always out of it, at least it's like the unpredictable nature of the NFL is kind of fun. You know what I mean? As much as we love to hate the stuff we love, or like I do. I wish I had said it on my brother can vouch for this, but I wish I had made this on the pod, this statement, because when the Ravens were 1-5. I said, you watch. I'm trying to remember who they won that week. They went to 2-5. I go, watch. I go, the Ravens are going to end up winning that division. And they're going to, I'm telling you, the Baltimore Ravens, 1-5, they're going to end up winning that division. And probably going away, too.
Yeah. They're only one game behind the Steelers, and the Ravens' schedule looks ridiculously easy coming up, and the Steelers look like they're just imploding.
Yeah, well, I think good for the Dick. Yeah.
Oh, that was so great to watch him. And I was going to save this for the end of the pod, but So 10 weeks in, still don't know who his wife is. Just putting it out there.
Right.
Good point.
Yep.
It's him. I know it's him.
Of 100% it is. If you're going around the league, can I mention one thing?
Sure.
So going back to the Jets-Browns game, I looked at that coach, Kevin Stefanski, and that as a guy that's like, get me the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And remember at the beginning of the year, that was that whole thing where the NFL pressured the Browns to take Shedeur Sanders. Everyone's like, oh, it didn't happen. Bullshit. It happened. Because how is Shedeur Sanders not playing?
Yeah.
Because that Dylan Gabriel is awful. I mean, he is so bad if you watch that game. How is he not playing? Stefanski wants nothing to do with Shedeur Sanders. I think he took him because he had to. Now I'm starting to think that he was pressured to take him. And how is this guy not in the game? Tell me a reason why.
I know he's bad. I know like I always say on here, like, guys, relax. The coaches know. Right? But sometimes it's like, even if he knows, though, he's got to take a flyer, right? At this point, he's got to be like, I'm going to stick him out there for a half and see what happens. Yeah.
Don't you have to know?
Yeah. A couple things. I don't know, man. Like, you're right. Coaches, you're not going to sabotage your own team, are you?
Right. Yeah, you're not sabotaging your own team. Yeah.
I keep waiting for the Giants to put Winston in, though. It's like, how much more do you need to see of Russ?
You don't.
He's cooked. He's done.
None. I'm going around the league, and now it starts to get interesting because we're 10 weeks in the season, and now it's like, holy shit, we're well past the halfway point. Now all of a sudden, holy shit, like you said, like you look up, you're like, the fuck are the New England's doing? The Patriots doing 8-2, but they are.
Yep.
And I tell you, the grossest 8-2 team I've ever seen. Can you guys?
Broncos.
The Denver Broncos.
100%.
Did you? I know it was Thursday's game, but did you guys watch the Thursday game?
Oh, it was terrible. They should have lost that game.
It was disgusting. I mean, it was grotesque. It was hideous. I mean, the Denver Broncos are gross. Can you imagine, like, just mucking your way through that season and being 8-2 the way they are? Like, man, like the Giants or the Jets mucking the way this team has been. How is this happening?
A coach. Because
they
are really hard to watch. That offense is pathetic.
They're bad. That offense is awful. That Raider 10-7 game I couldn't believe what I was watching. Couldn't believe I was up late watching that entire game. I don't know what I was doing.
How bad are the Raiders, though? Geno Smith looks as bad as Russell Wilson. It's like
bad.
There's a lot of bad teams out there right now, and they're starting to show it.
The team that impresses the hell out of me, and I really didn't think they'd be good this year, Seattle. Seattle is just blowing the doors off of people.
They are.
Yeah. And I tell you, the other team, same division. No, even the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, they've won a Super Bowl with their current head coach. No one talks about the Rams. Nobody talks about the Rams or the Seahawks. We still hear about the 49ers, and granted, the 49ers are 6-4, but we don't talk about that. You don't hear about the Seahawks and the Rams. I don't understand. No, I mean, these teams are frightening.
Playing
each other the Lions every day.
Yeah.
And the Lions, yeah.
Yeah, they go for it on fourth down.
By the way, I don't know if this is true or not. Again, I was listening to the Chicago broadcast for the Giants game, but as soon as they locked that game up, the Chicago broadcast team was like, "Guys, we control our destiny now." And I'm thinking, do they? Do the Bears control their destiny? Because the NFC has a ton of teams that are doing well right now.
Well, I mean, if they win out, sure, but they got 9 games left. Like,
I know.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Everyone controls their destiny right now.
Well,
but even then, do they? If everyone else that's tied with them wins out,
I would imagine they've got a lot of division games left, so they probably think...
They probably play the Lions twice. That's probably what the guy means.
Well, what's disgusting is I love this one, right? You know, if the playoffs started today, the fucking Bears would be there. They're the 7th seed right now. But I just noticed something here. I love this one. The strength of victory, right? All those columns, you know, when you start doing the play. The Bears' strength of victory, 272. I mean, who are they beating? The Giants every week?
They haven't beaten anybody.
272. Who have they beaten?
The Bears.
Giants, Saints.
They beat the Commanders, the Saints.
The Titans. That is disgusting.
They beat the Cowboys.
They beat the Commanders.
They beat the Raiders and the Commanders.
They beat the Giants and the Saints.
Saints, Bengals, and Giants.
Oh, come on.
That's their wins. Raiders, Saints, Bengals, and Giants are on their win list.
Yeah. And I saw one headline like, "This is a dangerous team." I'm like, "Oh my God, dangerous team, the Chicago Bears."
You guys listened to the game. Was there a lot of Ben Johnson talk?
On the radio broadcast there was, but again, I was listening to the Chicago broadcast.
It wasn't too bad. I got a lot to say about our friend Greg Olson this week. He was off the charts retarded this week. He took us to new places.
We might want to tag team that pet peeve because
I'm not going there on the pet peeve. So you can have it.
You can pile on the pet peeve.
Yeah, I'll pile on.
All right. But this is not NFL related, but I just wanted to point this out because there was an incredible catch in the Indiana-Penn State game that gave Indiana the win to keep them undefeated. Yeah. But, guys, we're seeing Indiana University and Vanderbilt right now as possible playoff teams compared to I mean, think about that. Would you ever have made that comment even 5 years ago?
Oh, hell no. Thank you, NIL, and thank you, transfer portal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all for like seeing some new schools in there, some new teams. So I'm okay with it. I'm on board with Indiana's and I still think if you ask me right now, Ohio State or the field, I'm probably taking Ohio State if I had to put money on it right now because I don't see that team losing. But to your point, Scott, I mean I watched a lot of that Indiana game. And that was one of the most awesome catches I've seen in a long time to basically win a game in the back of that end zone there. That was awesome.
Because he went up in the air and you saw his face. He's watching his feet.
Yeah.
He was guiding his foot in, but it was the most unbelievable catch.
I thought it was his right foot that came down first because that's where his body. Yeah. And then I was like, holy shit, no, it was his left foot. It was the other foot that came down. And while also at the same time suspending his other foot in the air, it was a wild catch.
You know what's great about that?
I'm sure, I have all the confidence in the world. Darius Slayton can make that catch. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Same situation. Slayton's making that catch.
By the way, Slayton made a hell of a catch this game. He did hit the one-handed grab.
He actually had a few. Yeah, he had
and then he hurt his hamstring.
And then of course he has to get hurt. It's because you're a giant. If you make a good play, you better get off the fucking field pretty soon because the Grim Reaper is coming.
So that Indiana play, by the way, I was at the Clemson Florida State game this weekend, and we were watching. We were just actually playing cornhole at the time, and all of a sudden we heard when you're at Clemson, it's tense all over the place. Cardone's been there, and all of a sudden you just heard a collective whoa, and we all went to the nearest TV we can find because everyone has TVs going on, and we saw the play. It was an amazing play, amazing catch. So, guys, previews and predictions. So I'll turn it over to Mike.
Previews and predictions. Welcome, everybody. We had a little bit of movement this week. I'll go down the line because we have the field got mixed up. So
I sucked last week.
You held on, Scott. You held on. So, Cardone, we'll start with Cardone at the top. Cardone came in, let's see, where is he? Cardone came in
sweep.
At 27-8. He got his Lions as his lock to start out 2-0. Then he picked the Bears and the Giants to go 4-0 on the week. So Cardone is now 31-8.
It's pretty impressive.
Which is a 795 winning percentage.
He picked the Jets to win too?
He picked the Jets.
Good
for
you, man.
All right. And then in
gross
second
win,
place,
and I got a gross win. Yeah,
you did.
In second place, our illustrious host hangs on. But you only went 2-2, Scott. You picked Denver. So you got that one, and then you picked the Giants and the Jets. So you went 3-1, 3-1. Not too bad. Good. Yep, improving your record to 29-10. 29-10 for Cost, moving solidly into second place. Novak moves into third place.
I had a bad week though.
But yeah, I had a worse one.
Wow.
Novak picked Buffalo as his lock, so he started out 0-2. And then he picked the Bears and Cleveland. So he goes 1-3 for the week, bringing Novak to 28-13, which is a 683 percentage. Not bad. So Mike picked Carolina for some reason. I got a reality check like the rest of the Carolina fans did this week.
We didn't even talk about that in around the league.
Which they sorely needed one. And I did pick Chicago, and I did pick the Jets. So I just went 2-2, which brings my record to 26-13. Again, Novak has the 2 extra
because of my upset pick last week.
Because of the upset.
Right.
But by winning percentage, I'm at 667 and last, and Cardone's at 795 in first. So let's go into this week. We will start with Cardone.
All right, I will start with the Jet game since they're playing Thursday night, and I do not see how the Jets are going to win 3 in a row. They've won 2 in a row somehow. I can't believe that. New England's just rolling right now. You got the short week. Going up to New England right now. I don't see how the Jets can even compete in that game. I've got New England winning 24-13, and I think I'm going to double down on New England. I think they're going to be my lock also, right? I think we can do our lock with there and couple that. I know so I'm putting 3 points. I'm risking 3 on the Patriots here, but they're my lock, and I got them beating the Jets Thursday night. And then
what was that score again, Cardone?
24-13. New England.
Gotcha.
And then Sunday at 1 at Met Death, you got the Pack coming in. Again, it's just so damn hard to pick the Giants this is going to be a weird week. Maybe it's one of those where after Daboll gets fired, a lot of times when you have that interim coach, the team rises up and they find a way to win somehow for the new coach and all that stuff. And but I just don't know. We don't know if Dart's playing though, right? We don't know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm thinking on that side, I got the Giants losing. I got Green Bay winning. I think it's a close game. I don't think it's tipped that high scoring. I have Green Bay winning 21-17 just because the Giants keep their losing ways going at Met Death. So give me Green Bay 21-17.
All right. Scott Cost.
So I will start with the Jets game as well. Earlier in the year, I kept thinking, I think the Patriots are a little overrated here, but I've watched them play a couple times, and Stephon Diggs is actually making catches now, and they're coming to life. And I can't see the Jets sustaining what they're doing with the way Justin Fields is playing. As good as Breece Hall's been. So I'm going to take the Patriots in this game, and it's going to be not a blowout, but it's going to be a decent win. It'll be 24-10.
24-10.
And then in the Giants game, look, I think Russell Wilson's going to start. And I caveat this with if Russell Wilson starts, just the score part. I think the Giants are losing either way.
Yeah.
I heard a great quote this week that the Packers could beat the 85 Bears and lose to the 08 Lions, who, by the way, I think were the winless team that year. The Packers are very up and down. They're doing nothing so far in the game against the Eagles. I think it's still 0-0 at halftime. But I'm going to take the Packers to win, and I'm assuming Russell Wilson's playing, so the Packers are going to win 21-3.
21-3. Guys, Green Bay coming into tonight has 2 losses. The Browns and the Panthers have beaten them.
Wow,
Green Bay. They've won the rest of their games.
Don't forget about their tie, Mike. Can't forget that. The NFL still goes with ties.
So I forgot they had tied.
They tied the Cowpokes.
They tied the Cowboys.
Yeah. All right.
Now my lock of the week, and Mike, you're going to have to keep me honest here. Have I picked the Ravens as a lock?
Well, let's see. When did you get knocked out last? I think we've all been knocked out like multiple times.
Yeah, I was knocked out once.
Back to this sheet.
I think I did pick them 2 weeks ago because I said they were on the train of winning and Lamar was back to his MVP ways.
Yeah.
So if that's the case...
We both picked them. Yeah. The week the Giants played the 49ers, Cost and Novak took Baltimore.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the Texans in a rousing AFC South matchup against
again.
The Texans.
There's a South matchup.
The Texans
there was one this past week.
Yes, the Texans
every week,
playing
Novak.
the Titans.
God, how is this possible?
They are. They're playing the Titans.
All right.
So I'm taking the Texans.
Gotcha.
All right, so I'm up.
You're up.
I will start with my Jets on Thursday. This is a massive beatdown. I don't think that Justin Fields will get over 20 yards passing. And so I like the Patriots here in a rout 31-13 over the Jets. And I think we will see Tyrod Taylor in this game probably in the second half. For the Giants, excuse me, I think it's another route. I think it's 80% filled with cheeseheads at MetDef. It is very hard for an offensive coordinator with no head coaching experience to take over and be able to actually do anything positive in a short week. Not a short week, but in a week. So because of that, I like the Packers here big as well, 28-10 over the Giants. And I do think Winston will start. That's my opinion. And then my lock, I will also go with the team that is on the ascension and on their way to winning that division, the Ravens over the hapless freaking Browns.
Bow. All right. So I'll go with the Jets first, just to keep everything the same. I agree with what everyone said. Matter of fact, our scores are all very similar. The Jets, they just don't have a quarterback, man. You can beat Cleveland without a quarterback. You're not beating New England without a quarterback. So it's hard to pick the Jets. I did take them to beat Cleveland, but I thought Tyrod was starting when I picked that. But I'll take it. I'm going to take it. But I've got New England winning 21-12 over the Jets in New England. For the Giants game, it's just kind of everything we talked about. It's, I just don't see it. What's his name is still there. Bowen. Guys, I can't. I don't. If Daboll couldn't get him to change for whatever reason, I don't think Kafka is going to be able to go in there and make him change. That doesn't seem likely, right? And we're still going to have Jamie Gillen as a punter some fucking how. There's not some dude out there who can kick a football. Not anybody. You could go have a raffle at the stadium to give people tryouts and find someone better. I mean, the biggest kick of the day, 26, Cardone? What was just
a 26-yarder, Mike.
Yeah.
So this is now overlapping on my pet peeve, but yes.
I will stop
yep.
right there. Stop right there. There's no way we beat a team with the pieces that Green Bay has. I have Green Bay killing us 38-10, and here's my thing with Bowen. The last thing I'll probably say about Bowen tonight is, if the Giants have one strength on defense, it's a pass rush. They have a huge defensive backfield problem. So why in the key moments of the game does he take the pass rush off the field and rely on pass coverage? I mean, it's that simple. It's sometimes the game is not that hard, man. It's not that hard. My lock will be the Green Bay Packers. Without Jackson Dart, the Giants aren't winning that game. So.
But Mike, the more I was thinking about the way that Bowen plays, my biggest pet peeve with him is that when you drop 8 or when you rush 3 and drop 8, you still have guys wide open. How is that possible?
Because we can't cover anybody.
You're not doing anything. You're not doing anything good. You're not rushing anyone, but you're letting everyone get free. It's the craziest thing in the world.
The Giants can't cover anybody. We hang in games early because we have a good 4-man pass rush, and occasionally we blitz it. It makes quarterbacks make quick decisions. And that's how we stay in games. That's how we get up early. Because despite what everyone thinks, because every quarterback we played is like, you can tell it's hammered into their head. Get rid of the ball early. Get rid of the ball early. Get rid of the ball. So we're not getting sacks. What we are getting? We're getting hits on quarterbacks, and we're getting dump-offs against us. We can't guard them from behind, though. We're letting the dump-offs go for 12 yards, 15 yards. Abdul Carter, say what you want about him. I know he hasn't had a sack yet, but he's disruptive. He's back there on every play. It's like teams have just decided we're not letting Abdul Carter get a sack. Well, fine.
He did get a sack in this game, but it was wiped out by an illegal contact penalty.
He has had 2 this year that were both wiped out by a penalty.
So,
but I mean, that is the strength of, and you could make the offense play right into your hand in the end of these games. A quarterback with the experience of, who did we just play?
Oh, Caleb Williams.
Yeah, a second-year quarterback who hasn't been all that good. When he reads blitz, he's going to dump it off. He's not thinking about game situation. Jordan Love's going to do the same thing next week. He is not going to sit there and go, I got to get this ball down the field on this play. They're all robots. And that's why completion percentages are so high. It's because defensive coordinators say, I'm going to at least make it look like a blitz. I'm going to make them dump it off. Then I'm going to tackle the guy who catches the ball. And the problem with the Giants version of that is we can't tackle the guy who catches the ball.
And another ding on Daboll is that Daboll's a guy who, fought with his coordinator, so Wink's not here anymore. Wink would never have played a defense like this with these pass rushers.
No.
I would almost say that the Giants with this pass rushing front under Wink would be a top 5 defense.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've always said, man. You go out there and you find me a great defensive backfield, I'll show you a front 7 that gets to the quarterback almost every time. It's hard to cover people. It's really hard. Even the best people of all time, if you just are dropping 8 and letting receivers run around and do whatever they want on a scramble drill, are going to find a way to get open. It's not that hard if the quarterback has 20 seconds. Anyway.
I did like this. The Bears announcing crew called Deontay Banks the human flag. So that was very appropriate. He is the human flag.
Maybe if he could draw a flag, he wouldn't give up so many completions. I mean,
it should be the human toast.
Yeah, maybe he should be fouling somebody.
So we'll get the pet peeves. I know Mike will piggyback off this one, so I'll go first. I actually have 2 this week, but my first one's Greg Olsen. And, Greg Olsen, every time I've listened to him this year, the guy wants coaches to just be maniacs and go for it every time they can. Cardone, I know you talked about the Giants going for it when it was 4th and 1 at the 1 yard line there, and my
That's
attitude
rare
was
for me, Scott. But yeah.
But my attitude there was take the 2-score lead, take the 10-point lead, hope your defense can hold them, kick the field goal. So they do that. Olsen, first off, was just going nuts about the fact that the Giants were even trying the field goal. And then afterwards, he made this ridiculous comment that the Giants gave up 35 yards of field position for only 3 points. And I kept saying to myself, only 3 points. You guys are making 3 points sound like it's a loss when you take 3 points. Mm-hmm. And the worst thing about this game that could have possibly happened is that it paid off for both Ben Johnson and for Greg Olsen in that football karma won. They weren't doing what they were supposed to do, and yet they still came out on top because the Giants are that pathetic. But Greg Olsen was not only talking about that later on in the game when the Bears scored. Keep in mind, it was a 10-point game. The Bears score a touchdown. Greg Olsen is telling them to go for 2.
Yep.
Instead of making it a 3-point game.
Yep. Go for 2. That's what he said. He said I'd go for 2.
And I'll tell you this right now.
An idiot.
Had they gone for 2 and missed, the Giants, even under the pathetic Russell Wilson, were almost in field goal range to be able to tie that game.
Yeah. If they had gone for 2 and made it, it didn't matter anyway because they scored a touchdown on the next drive.
But I don't get like Greg Olsen came into the league with a very good reputation, or came into the booth with a very good reputation as knowing football. And the more he talks about coaching decisions, I understand why a Ben Johnson, why a Dan Campbell, why all these guys are celebrated. It's because no one will ever bitch about when they fail. No one's going to, they just like the fact that they have balls and go for it.
It's funny because we have roasted Brian Daboll, especially over the past 2 or 3 seasons, for not taking points, for leaving points on the field, right? We've roasted the guy for that. So the one time he actually goes and does what we want him to do, it bites him in the ass, and the announcers jump all over him for playing not to lose instead of playing to win, which makes me want to just put my fist so far down someone's throat. It drives me insane. But yeah. So Brian Daboll's been blowing it. It's this losing leads, guys. This isn't new to this year.
No,
it's been brought to the forefront this year because it's happened 4 times, and a couple of them have been fucking epic. But we've been
historical.
Losing, yeah. We've been losing fourth quarter leads for 3 years around here. It's not. This isn't a new thing, and for the most part, it's been because Daboll leaves points on the table. Now it's because he didn't. So get him out of here. He can't win. He's a loser. Get him out.
This podcast has talked about the fact that games have gotten close at the end. And we've not said that there's a conspiracy to make the games close at the end or anything like that. But I want to point out a stat. I was going to do this earlier when we did the around the NFL. So when teams that are favored who are losing in the fourth quarter, 82% of the flags that come out are in their favor.
Really?
Yes.
How did you get that stat? Because that's a great one.
That was brought up earlier today because people were talking about the fact that there's a lot of comebacks. We've seen, it wasn't just the Giants game that we saw. We saw in the Houston Texan.
Jacksonville
game.
Yeah, they had a 19-point lead.
There's a comeback there. The Raiders have lost a few games. It's all these downtrodden teams like the Giants, the Browns, the Raiders. These guys are all losing games. And who are they losing them to? Teams that are favored. And those teams that are favored somehow are getting the calls. Now, this is the opposite of what we said last week with the Chiefs. The Chiefs had the lead. So, yeah, you could throw a flag on them. That's okay. But 82% of the flags that come out in the fourth quarter for teams that are favored that are losing are in their favor.
Wow.
That's an awesome stat.
And we've pointed out on this podcast that games we think are artificially being made close. And I think that's part of it.
Well,
I think it's got to be part of that. Yeah.
With the Giants up 20-10 and the Bears get the ball, that's a 91-yard drive. The Bears go on to score a touchdown to get within 20-17. 50 yards in penalties on that drive for the Bears.
Yeah.
What were the three games where you had the big deficit in the fourth quarter? The Broncos.
It wasn't a big deficit, but it was a lead with 30 seconds left against Dallas.
Right. Okay. So this is the stat I saw. But the Broncos, Cowboy, and Bear game, the Giants losing all three of them, there was a 1 in 60,000 chance that they would have lost all three games.
That's the kind of thing I talk about. I mean,
I saw that stat because each one was over a 95% chance to win.
You know who powered those numbers too? AWS.
Yeah, AWS.
Start betting now.
Well, even yesterday, the Giants got as high as 96.9% win percentage. It was late in the still leading 20-10 with 5:35 left to go in the game. 96.9, lost the game.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier that I thought this loss overall is good because Daboll's fired. But again, we talked about Jackson Dart's knee probably being down. The other thing is the Bears started that the drive, I think, where they made it, where they closed it to 3. They started that drive with a holding penalty that was somehow picked up. I've never seen an offensive holding penalty picked up.
Never have. I don't want to sit here and make this a blame the officials segment, but been watching the game a long time. Never seen a hold picked up.
That would have been first and 20 at that point.
Yeah. And deep in their own zone.
And by the way, that was the throw I think he made to the tight end Loveland on a 3rd and 10 that barely got the first down, but it was so push it back even 10 yards further.
Yep. And then later on in that drive is again the 3rd and 10 stop with the illegal contact.
Yep.
That when the Bears are on their own side of the field, that forces a game deciding decision by the Bears coach. Am I going to punt here and try to get the ball back down 2 scores, or am I going to go for it here and either end with the possibility of having the game end right here? But they don't have to make that decision because of a fucking ticky-tack illegal contact where the Giant defender did nothing to disrupt a route. Nothing. Had hands on him.
So we talk about the Giants game, but like I said, 82% of the flags that are being thrown on teams.
They're keeping them close.
Yeah, they're keeping them close.
They're keeping the games close.
So my second pet peeve is it's really about myself and guys, I'm struggling with this year. My waning fandom. It's really been tough. I mean, I've been on a number of podcasts where I've been drunk, and a lot of that's because I've been bowling beforehand, and there's a hand.
We didn't notice what.
But there's a hand-eye coordination thing with golf, darts, bowling, things like that. You need to have a certain amount of alcohol to function okay. But But regardless of which, I think part of that's me just struggling with the fact that my love of the Giants is starting to go downhill, and maybe it'll change with Jackson Dart being here. But I almost care more about other games. I don't know if it's the fantasy aspect of the NFL, but I I'm sitting there watching the Giants knowing they're going to lose. By the way, with a lead,
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way the Giants are going to hold on to this. I'm talking to my son Christopher. I'm like, Chris, the Giants they're up by 3. Bears are coming down right here, and they're scoring a touchdown. They're going to win. Russell Wilson won't be able to bring us back. I can call that with clarity.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sitting there as that game's going on, thinking, well, maybe I should flip over to the Texans game or whatever's going on, and because there's more enjoyable games it seems that are happening at that point in time, and where I'm struggling is that I'm a middle-aged man. When I was a kid, I lived and died for Sunday football. I lived and died for the Giants. I sat pins and needles watching the Giants. This past weekend, I'm actually at kickoff. I was looking at my daughter and her husband's new house that they're going to close on. I was in there doing a walkthrough. I got back in the car about 5 minutes after kickoff, so I didn't miss a lot of the game. But the point is that I was always in front of the TV unless there was a death in the family, something major. I was always involved in the game, and I just don't feel like that's the case anymore. And I don't know if it's a continued losing or if this is what happens when you get older and you have other priorities. And that's what I'm struggling with. I don't know. We are all rabid fans. I know that. But how much of a rabid fan I am anymore, I almost feel like I'm just a negative guy on the NFL anymore.
My new word this weekend, Scott, because Greg and I text a lot during games and stuff. We were on the phone. I use sawdust and vaporized. I came up I was absolutely desensitized yesterday. Just desensitized. I barely react to anything, good or bad in the game. I sit on the couch. I watch. I barely move. I swear it's in some instances. So I feel exactly the same way, Scott. You're not alone in that, man. Where I don't know. It would be different if the Giants were competitive and they were competing for playoff spots and divisions and all that stuff. I would feel differently about this league, but nah, man. In general, and it's not just NFL. I I watch all professional sports: NHL, MLB, NBA, college hoops, and football, and I don't even play fantasy anymore, guys. I used to be I was in the league. I gave it up. I don't miss that. I'm basically it's getting harder and harder and harder to care about this shit. Not to watch. I watch it, but I just as far as how much I care, it's just dwindling away, man.
I think I get more excited watching hockey these days, to be honest with you.
Love hockey.
I think when the Giants start winning again, you'll be back.
I agree.
You will, because you know what? The Jets have won 2 bullshit games over the last 2 weeks, and I'm so much more into it because they actually won an NFL game, like Cardone said last week to me, and he's right. Like my interest goes up, even beating the stupid Bengals and Browns, and I'm back into it a little bit more than I was 3 weeks ago. So it does happen. Yeah. You'll be back.
Yeah, it's rough you hit the nail on the head, Scott. It's rough when you see a loss coming when you're up 10 points. That's a difficult place to be in, and all of us did. I know. My wife thinks I'm fucking Nostradamus. Because I'm down here like quatrain 7. The Giants will fumble on this drive, and the Bears will score. We just know it's going to happen. And
so conditioned.
As Cardone said, and Novak's becoming a closet Giants fan as well. When the Bears are driving down at the end, they ain't not kicking a field goal. We all know that wasn't going to happen. For crying out loud, we got the ball with like 4 minutes and something left. We punted it back to them with 4 minutes left. And they had the ball inside the red zone before the 2-minute warning. For crying, it's hard. And I know there was one time in my life that I was about done. I was going to give up the Sunday ticket. I said, you know what? This isn't worth it anymore. I'm crushing myself. And I have changed since then. I am much, now I'm like, we're fine. I'm a little bit more calm now than I used to be.
Fine.
But I remember because the NFL draft was on. and I was shopping at the mall with my wife. That's how much I didn't care. And this was before, of course, they had it on in prime time, right? And I heard that the Giants, I'm like looking, I don't even think I had my phone yet, so I must have been listening on the radio or something. But the Giants drafted Phillip Rivers, and I had heard through the grapevine, through BBI and everything back in the day, that the Giants didn't even have Rivers on their draft board. So I'm like, the Giants are going to get Eli Manning. And so I kind of we got back in the car, and I heard it was official and everything. I'm like, hold your horses on getting rid of the Sunday ticket for a minute. I want to see what this kid's got. So yeah, it's the winning. Or I should say more. I agree with Novak. It's the losing, and it really does. I mean, I know we've been suckered into this a lot of times over the last few years, but it does seem the losing's about to end.
Yeah, I just hope I don't go down the abyss where the losing goes on so long. Like I just don't watch the Knicks anymore. And the Knicks are an exciting team from what I hear. I just don't watch the NBA. So, I would rather watch the Rangers. I would rather watch the Yankees, the Giants. I just don't watch the NBA. Now I have a little bit of hope for Syracuse because Carmelo Anthony's son's there this year. So I'll see what goes on in basketball. They just demolished Delaware State in the
I mean, if the
early season.
We know we're getting a new coach next year. We know we got a quarterback who we feel like is our guy. We're going to go week 1. We're going to have Malik Neighbors, Cam Scattaboo. Hopefully we'll have addressed the offensive line a little bit, someone in the defensive backfield. So I know what you mean. If we're 0-3, if we're 0-2 next year, that's going to be difficult to do it.
The NFL will probably put us up against the Chiefs and the Ravens next year.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. I mean, that's the 0-2 start with a whole new regime and Jackson Dart. That's going to be awful tough to stomach.
Yeah. Mikey, I'll go to you next. Since I talked about Greg Olsen.
Yeah, no, Greg Olsen is my permanent pet peeve, man. He is awful. So my pet peeve stems from something Greg Olsen said, which I just started belly laughing when I heard it. And so they were talking, the Giants had blown the lead, the Bears are taking a knee, and Greg Olsen is like, guys, I just don't. When you continually lose leads like this, it's hard to say that's anything but coaching. And he's kind of going there, but he's like, but you got to weigh that then if you're a Giants fan about all the good he's done developing Jackson Dart, right? I went nuts. I went nuts. I'm like, what the fuck has Brian Daboll done to develop Jackson Dart? He drafted him. That's it. I'm like, this guy, he looked awesome in the preseason. Everyone said how good he was in practice. Week 1, the guy's on the bench. What did he learn between week 1 and week 4 that made him a good? He should have been in there week 1. Daboll's too stupid. I mean, I was going off. But I said I'm going to keep that as my pet peeve. Daboll is a terrible talent evaluator.
Awful.
And you can say, well, he knew what he had in Dart, but he kept him on the bench because that was a smart thing to do for the kid. He thought we'd be losing. Bullshit. Brian Daboll's job's in jeopardy. If Brian Daboll thought Jackson Dart was going to be this good, Jackson Dart would have been out there week 1.
They didn't give him a chance to compete in the preseason.
He didn't even compete in the preseason. No. Before Jackson Dart, Jackson Dart's drafted, people were excited. Daboll couldn't get to the podium fast enough to say that Russell Wilson was the starter.
Rappaport said he heard part of the reason Daboll was let go is because he hasn't taught Dart how to slide. Which I thought was absolutely ridiculous.
Long as been Dart.
That's the stupidest thing.
Why are people so?
Why don't they get the same sliding coach that Tua got?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, think about this. Has anyone ever said that about Josh Allen?
Yeah.
You're gonna play that way because that's the way you play, and that's what makes you you. You're gonna get hurt, and he got hurt, but that's. But if there's any, I'd rather someone get on Dan Quinn about having Jaden Daniels in the game down 30 points.
Yeah, and we've talked about this in past weeks too. It's like, oh well, all Dart's got is a running game. Daboll, these aren't called runs, you people. It's Daboll's offense imploding on the field, and Jackson Dart going and making something happen. If we had an offensive line. And if we had fucking plays that made sense with receivers running, I don't know, Giants crossing fucking patterns, receivers running ahead instead of turned around at the line of scrimmage, If we had something dynamic happening on offense, you see what happens when Dart's in the pocket and someone's open. He doesn't need to run. For crying out loud, he drops dimes everywhere. The Giants can't catch him. The ball's hitting people in the hands out there. It's insanity. Daboll developed, Brian. Get the fuck out of here with that. Daboll didn't develop shit. He developed fucking unemployment.
Do you remember when Tom Brady took the job and he bumped Greg Olson and everyone's like, oh, Greg Olson, how can you bump him out of it?
I would.
This is exactly why.
I know. That made my rant yesterday from the couch too. I'm like, this is why Tom Brady took your job, you weasel, crybaby. And by the way, I thought Olsen was well. If that's going to happen, I'm out of broadcasting. You remember, like he threatened to leave broadcasting because of that.
Oh no, please don't, Greg.
Yeah, and here he is, still doing the Giants-Bears game, which was what Fox's game 9 in the 1 o'clock window.
Well, that's a perfect segue for me.
Perfect. Roll
Before
in.
you get there, to no one's surprise, Mark Sanchez is now fired by Fox.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, shocking.
Olsen moved up the ladder, a slot.
But I heard Fox hired Drew Brees.
Oh,
So
I can listen to Drew Brees.
Brees will be on. I think they're giving him like a 2-week window to get acclimated for some reason, but then he's going to start calling games.
I would
Acclimated. He needs a preseason.
Acclimated.
You can't not like Drew Brees.
Yeah, Drew Brees.
Yeah, Brees. Yeah, he's
a good dude.
Brees is a good dude.
All right, Novak.
All right, so I got 2 quick ones. Because we're talking about announcing teams, when you're the worst team in the league and you're playing the other worst team in the league, you're getting the bottom of the barrel announcers. Spiro Ditas and Adam Archuleta. These 2 morons couldn't be worse. And I'm going to tell you the one that's going to make you guys just lose your mind because I know you didn't hear it because you would have mentioned it to me. There's a play, Justin Fields drops back, and he just takes off and runs after looking at his reads, and Adam Archuleta goes, the brilliance of Justin Fields to look away the linebacker and then take off in the other direction. Look away the linebacker.
On a run.
His receiver was like, oh my God, the receiver might be within 10 yards of the defender. I can't throw over there. So then he ran. The brilliance. To look away the linebacker. Get out of here, Arch.
He looked off the linebacker to run.
Yeah,
he's a genius.
All right, so my other one is I have gotten on this organization before in a pet peeve, and this time they have just outdone themselves or not outdone themselves, and that is these losers up in Buffalo. How in the hell do you get to the trade deadline when this is your year? You should be the team, and you basically sit on your hands and do nothing. No trade. Mm-hmm. There are receivers out there that are to be taken, like Shakir and all these other guys, Jacoby Myers. There are defenders that are out there that could be. You got to go for it when this is your time. And that window is fast closing on this team really quickly, and I cannot believe they did nothing. So you know what? You deserve to lose to the Chiefs again in the divisional round or the AFC Championship. Screw them, and I like them. I want to root for them, but for them to do nothing is just organizational malpractice. I'm sorry. You had a chance here and you blew it, you idiots.
Yeah, I've been pulling for them, and they make it almost impossible, man.
They really do.
Yeah.
Like what? Yeah. And then they go out and lose to the Dolphins after they didn't do dick during a chance to get a player or two to make that run. This is the year to do it. Ravens are down, Chiefs are down. This is their time.
This is the Bills' year. They got to jump through that window right now.
And I know Devin Tier is listening. Sorry, Devin Tier, but I can't believe they didn't do anything in the trade deadline.
He was pretty downtrodden. I was out. My nieces just turned 16 last night. We went to Texas Roadhouse for some steaks, and Devin Tier at the end of the day I think he was just beat down too. So, question for you guys though: what do you think about McDermott? I mean, is he the guy or not? I mean, I waver from him. Sometimes I think he's the perfect demeanor for the Bills. Other times I'm like, this guy is terrible.
Look, I'm more, as you can tell, I'm more of a GM person than a coach person. I don't think that they've got the greatest talent outside of Josh Allen, and he still finds a way to win. That GM hasn't done anything to support Josh Allen and give him the right weapons. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't think it's McDermott's fault, in my opinion.
One thing I do go back to is that I think about this when I think about the way the Cowboys were under McCarthy. They have Cook, and Cook is like beating people up, running really well, and next thing you know, you don't see him for like a quarter and a half.
Yeah.
I always wonder why teams go away from the run.
That's an epidemic in the NFL right now. These running backs who have decent starts to games and then poof,
gone.
Well, as afraid as coaches are to kick a field goal, they're equally as afraid to punt, and they get away from that running game awfully fast. No one's patient enough to play the 3-4 yard game, and these days.
And isn't that how you wear the defense down? It's just like running and running and running. It just, you know it. We always say, like, run it down their throat.
Yep.
Wear and break the defense down. And old school football, man, it's just gone. Yeah.
And they put these third down backs in that have to be in there and a big drive at the end of the game because they're a third down back. Get out of here. Put the guy that's been in there getting 150 yards over the game.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Cardone, pet peeve?
Yeah, mine's a quick one, man, and it is around one particular player. I've been murdering this guy along with Darius Slayton. You know how I feel about him. My peeve this week is none other than Jamie fucking Gillian. Jamie Gillian, the Scottish fucking hammer. I hate everything about this guy. I hate his hair. I hate his Scottish heritage. I hate his everything. This guy, I mean, not that it mattered because we knew the Giants were going to hang on to that game yesterday. But this guy, Greg and I were on the phone. The funniest thing is Greg and I were on the phone, and he's slightly ahead of me because I'm streaming on YouTube TV, and he's got the regular broadcast up there, at home in Jersey. And so he's about 2 seconds ahead of me. He's like, and he's predicting. He goes, here comes the 36-yarder by Hammer. Here it comes. So he's like, give it to me, Hammer. So I haven't caught up to him yet in real time. We try to delay this and that, where he's trying to delay. So I'm caught, and he's like, there it is, Hammer time, you hammer fuck, you fight. Greg oversold it. Instead of 36, it was 26.
Yeah.
So he's barking, hammer time, there it is. So 26 yards sets the Bears up. And no doubt they trot down. Again, we already talked about not worried even about the field goal. Giving them that right there, the 26-yard punt by Jamie Gillian. I don't know what in the world we have to hang on to this guy for. There's punters all over the place. I thought about this remember back we've always compared this era of bad football back in the days of the 70s. You can go back. We had Dave Jennings was our punter back in the 70s. And for old school Giant fans, that guy was the best player on our team. Yeah. He was our MVP. He was the best player. He was one of the best punters in the league. At least we had Dave Jennings. Well, the Giants got maybe 6 first downs a game, but Jennings would hit 58-yarders out at the 5-yard line at least. And okay, well, we'd only lose 13-10 back then in those games. I was watching the Raiders-Broncos for whatever reason on Thursday night. We already talked about that game.
The Broncos punter.
So no, the Broncos punter. No, Scott. The Vegas punter, I didn't even write down his name. This guy coffin cornered not one, but 2 fucking punts out at the 1 in the first half. And I'm laughing on my couch like Gillian can't do that in his career. And this guy nails two punts at the 1 twice in 1 half. Jamie Gillian, Scottish hammer, get the fuck off my team. Get rid of this guy. Now, I don't want to see. I'd rather not punt the rest of the year, so I don't have to see him and his hair on walk onto the field in a Giant uniform. I cannot take this guy one more game. I can't.
It isn't the easiest position in all of football to scout.
And exactly, Novak.
You basically kick it it doesn't. You can't say, well, he's an SEC punter. It doesn't make a difference. He's an SEC or Ivy League. If he can hit 60 yards, he can hit 60 yards.
And we're so pathetic. We had this useless fuck doing kickoffs, and he couldn't even get. He was relieved of his kickoff duties early
in the middle of the game.
Early from the game, as Gillian's out there doing kickoffs. I'm like, why is this guy fucking doing kickoffs? Enough of him. Have we not seen enough? Get his ass out of here.
This is what I mean. Go ahead, Cardone. I didn't know you weren't.
No, just get rid of him. Yeah. Just cut him now. Go pick up a punter off the fucking street. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. There are punters who went to college who aren't in the NFL now who could average 37 yards a punt.
Easy. Yeah. That's not hard to find.
No. I don't understand why he's still on the roster after all these years. And by the way, did anyone else notice we bring Young Ho Koo in? Just looks like an NFL kicker. Just drills everything right down the middle.
Exactly.
Yep. And then when he takes over kickoff duties from Gillian, his first kickoff
down
is
to the
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect down to the one.
Yep.
Who's evaluating talent on this team?
Exactly.
You had the Irish guy out there missing 25-yarders.
We
and you
had
had Young
on the
Koo,
team.
who was a former All-Pro.
It's insane,
on the
man.
roster.
Yeah. It is. If there's two positions on an NFL team that you could basically plug and play, it's kicker and punter.
Punter.
And long snapper, maybe. Other than that, it's like
no,
you have
Trey
one
Junkin
skill.
can't do that.
Oh, that's
Trey
true.
Junkin.
Yeah, go back to the 02 playoff game where we
The
can't
Giants
do
go
that.
get a guy off the couch just for one thing. All we need to do is long snap. That's it.
Cardone,
and it cost him a season.
Yep.
I was laughing, Cardone, when you brought up like the Broncos Raiders game, because the Broncos punter was shaking kicks left and right. I'm like, wait, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? You know?
Yeah, I know. No, that was hilarious. That was awesome. Like, I mean, that was fun to watch that. But I really wanted to highlight the Raider guy because he was drilling ball. I don't know if you saw. He hit
the best one is he hit one and it went basically perpendicular to the end zone out at the one.
It took a right. It ball bounced at the 2 and made a right angle right out of the 1 yard line. It took It was like miniature golf where you hit that. You aim it right off that wooden plank and it goes exactly 90 degrees to the right.
I loved it too. Al Michaels was like, "Well, that's a touchback," and then he goes, "Oh no, wait! Did that go out at the one?" And Herb Street's like,
did.
"Yeah, I think it went out at the one, Al." I think.
Blind old man. Yeah, it did.
So we do have a couple questions this week. Peacock Corner is in full effect, and we probably touched on some of these, but he asked if Dart's style and the concussions he's had is a concern. Is he injury prone? Is he concussion prone? I mean, he's been to the tent 4 times. I think a guy like Dart is going to have issues. I mean, he's going to play the way he does. He's going to play recklessly. He's going to give you good plays. He's going to leave himself open for some of these hits. So it is a worry. And I think, whatever coach comes in probably has to balance that a little bit, but you don't want to take that aspect away because that's what makes Jackson Dart right now.
Yeah,
at least my opinion.
These, immediately I think of Cam Newton when he came to the Panthers and, he's running all over the place and making all these great plays. And immediately the Panthers start saying, we got to get him to stop running. Well, if he stops running, he's not Cam Newton anymore. He's an average pocket passing quarterback. So you do, Scott, you're right. You got to balance these things. However, I will say Jackson Dart's game and the plan is not for him to run as much as he has. If we can get a viable offense in place, hopefully that will mitigate some of this.
You don't have to have called runs for Dart, which is some of what we've had in the past few weeks. Not this past week.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the play he got hurt on was a called run, but there have been called runs for him, much like there were for Daniel Jones. And if you guys have watched Daniel Jones in Indy, there have not been many called runs for him. Now, he did take off on a I think it was a 3rd and 21 where he gained 19 yards and made a 4th and 2 and then made the pass to Warren, which I saw that brought them to overtime. Brought them to overtime. So it's one of those things where he can run when he needs to.
Yeah. Well, the only problem is that you start to get a reputation as a concussion guy, and now you get watched a lot closer. And so, like Tua and a couple of the others out there, that would be the concern, right? Because you've gotten some early in your career, and now you're starting to get this label as concussion guy. That would be the concern more than him actually getting them. Is the eyes on him potentially getting one?
Yeah,
spot on.
That's a good point.
It's funny because we were just laughing at the report that said Daboll got fired because he didn't teach Dart how to slide. But you do, as a coach, I mean, you do have to tell Jackson Dart, live to play another down. Like, we don't need to get every first down. It's okay rather than you getting clocked when we're leading by 10. It's okay for you to take a knee and put us in 3rd and 1. It's okay for you to run out of bounds and leave us in 4th and 2 on the other side of the field. Like, just you got to settle down, big boy. We're going to need you all year, that kind of thing. And, I can't imagine Daboll wasn't saying that, but it's hard to do when you're out there and the adrenaline's flowing. And, you know, the thing that made me the maddest about when the play Dart got hurt on is once he got the first down, it was all we needed. He could have just trotted out of bounds. He could have just jogged out of bounds from that point, and the results would have been the same. But you got to love him for throwing his body around out there. But we got let Scattaboo do that. Be fine.
What made me the most angry was the same with Cardone. I thought his knee was down.
Yeah.
It sure looked down, man. I mean,
so Russell Wilson comes in
now,
and we run it up the middle 3 times and try a long field goal with Young Ho Koo. Is that the?
What I liked about that drive that we actually got down to the 1 and then kicked the field goal is we ran the ball that drive. We didn't. Russell Wilson, I don't think, threw more than one pass, and he threw like a little flare out to the side.
Now, if the Bears lose that game, my question is, what the hell happened on that drive? Why have we stuffed the Giants at the line of scrimmage all day, and all of a sudden 4 runs in a row for 11 yards, and the Giants are down to the 1? Like what just happened right there in that little stretch? And of course, they survived it and they won the game. So, hats off to the Bears. Crown their asses.
So
you want to crown their ass?
The Eagles are now up 10-0. Hurts just threw a touchdown pass to Devonta Smith.
Of course he did.
Fourth quarter, 10 minutes left. Peacock also asks
99.7%. 90.4.
And I think this was asked last week too. Our thoughts on Belichick. Look, guys, for me, Belichick is a no-go for a number of reasons. Also, this past weekend, for some reason, his side piece was on the sideline again. I have no idea why this happens. Why she's relevant enough to be on a sideline. Now, North Carolina has strung a couple wins in a row together, but still,
they have.
I don't get that. I do not want to put Jackson, Dart, Scattaboo, our young players together with a coach who's going to retire in 2 years. Doesn't make sense.
Makes no sense.
No, you don't need that circus.
No, I want a younger guy. I want a young guy.
I don't think we'd be blowing 19-point leads with Belichick, but almost any other coach could stop us from blowing 19-point leads. Yeah, I don't want anything to do with Belichick.
And then Peacock's last question, more for Novak here. Do we root for the Jets to lose here to get a QB in the draft? I think you brought this up earlier. I'm not sure this next year is the best year for a QB in the draft, but you have the draft capital to be able to move around if you do want a QB,
Yeah.
I would never root for losses.
I did root for losses, I'm not going to lie, when Trevor Lawrence was coming out, because we were one loss away from and I thought he was going to be the next Andrew Luck. It's a very different scenario this year when there could be 5 guys coming out that you got Mendoza, Mateer, you've got the guy from Oregon who I really don't like, Carson, whatever freaking name is in
Carson Beck.
So there's a bunch of Ty Simpson from Alabama. So, but I don't know who's going to be the great one that's coming out of that. So no, I don't want to lose just yet. If it gets down to the end of the year and it's week 17, and if we lose, we get the number 1 pick. Yes, I want to lose, but not now.
The only guy that doesn't like Carson Beck coming out is Mike Glennon, because he's got maybe a longer neck than Mike Glennon.
The neck.
The all neck team, Merton Hanks.
You guys got anything else tonight?
No, just want to acknowledge all the veterans for serving our country. Veterans Day tomorrow, and I don't get too political too often, but I think it's a key day, obviously, to honor our veterans and people serving our country currently. So thank you.
Yeah. Well said.
Great. Well said. And happy birthday to my daughter tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
I'm
sure she's listening.
She does. This one does. She does listen. So.
Oh, cool! Awesome.
Yeah. Cardone, one thing I love is when we do go to the Clemson games every time they do a I wouldn't say it's a soldier of the week, but they do a person who's been in the military, and it's usually some old guy who's out there in a wheelchair or a walker or anything like that. But they go through his history, and everyone stands up and they do applaud. And I always say that, I say thank you for your service if I know someone has served, because it means a lot, and it probably means less to the generation after us, but I hope that continues. I hope we continue to recognize them.
So yeah, I do love when they do that at games.
I do want to make one mention around the league. So I don't know if you guys saw. So I'm on. What is it? I'm on Ron St. Brown. How do you say his name? The guy.
Yeah.
I'm on Ron St. So Trump was at the okay. So you saw he did like the Trump dance after he scored a touchdown, and he was trying to point him out, in the box, whatever. Did you see what happened to him as he's coming off the field?
Yeah, he got punched.
Right.
Was that after that, or was it was after that because of that, or was it after that? It was unrelated.
No, I think it was definitely after that, Scott. And what's the jack off in the booth is like, I have no idea why he did that, or what was said or snapped. I'm like, well, obviously it's probably because of he was doing the Trump dance or something. I mean, I don't know what other reason, but it's just that he was suspended for what, next week? I guess the guy on the Commanders. Yeah. Good stuff.
That was a full-on punch, and I never understand that. Why do guys punch a helmet?
Yeah.
That can't
good
be
question.
That can't be good.
Totally fair question.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't realize that was the reason he hit him. I had no idea. I didn't even connect the two, to be honest. So interesting.
No, I think it was an unrelated play, Novak. I think it came after that. But my point still remains though. Like, why punch a guy in the helmet?
That's true.
I don't know if you're going to break your hand and you're going to get a penalty for it every time. Every time.
So I have a feeling next week we're going to come on the air, talk about 2 losses again, but we'll see.
More than likely.
Yes,
more than likely.
It'll all be about our survivor pool picks next week, because we all have Green Bay, we all have New England.
Yeah,
there you go.
I will not be bowling next week either. My wife does go under the knife this Wednesday. She's having her hip replaced, so I'm thinking good thoughts for her.
Yeah, best of Steph.
Then you good thoughts.
Steph is right.
Yep. Yeah. Hope it all goes well.
All right.
All right.
We will see everyone next week.
See ya.
Yep.